everyone. Welcome to Bold Chat, brought to you by Network Access Group at Net Access Group. Go ahead and head to the link in my bio and follow over on Rumble so that you don't miss any streams or podcast episodes. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's a holiday week. Thank you for tuning in. Super excited to spend some time with you today. Go ahead and light up the chats. Thank you, Network Access Group, for, that reminder to give us some love, chat with us, share it out if you want to repost the stream. We want as many people to join in the conversation as always. So appreciate you all. And I'm hoping that everyone is having a beautiful, low stress holiday week so far. No stressful travels, all that jazz. But I'm super excited to have Evan Barker here as my guest today. So, hey, Evan, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, girl. Hey, for having me. I love seeing you.
I love seeing you. And I appreciate it because I know a lot of people already are like doing holiday stuff and have been sick. Also, you were sick, right? You look like you're feeling great.
If you can tell by my voice, I'm sorry. I'm trying to guzzle these down so that we can get through our conversation. But yes, I'm still sick, but it's okay. I'm staying home. I'm not going anywhere. No traveling this year. So it should be okay.
That I love that for you. The traveling can be, exhausting, can take a lot, especially when you're not feeling great or you're trying to like nurse yourself back to like feeling like yourself again. That stuff can really linger. So I feel you. I feel like, are you sponsored by Halls now?
Yeah, no. They would probably good out. To me to be anywhere near their brand. I would love to be sponsored by Halls.
Well, we're going to manifest that here today. So yeah, so let's do it. Well, so it sounds like your holiday is going to be pretty chill. Are you cooking and stuff?
Pretty chill. Yeah, we're going to be cooking. We're having some neighbors over. We like to do a very traditional Thanksgiving. The cranberry sauce, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, all of that. What about you?
Yeah, no, same. So this is my first Thanksgiving I guess I had Halloween and stuff like that, but first Thanksgiving back in Florida. So my friend invited me to like her family's, which is nice. So I've never been, so it'll be kind of a new experience for me. Yeah. But yeah, very traditional, I think, as well in terms of what we're preparing. And my thing is always green bean casserole. So that is what I am. That's my favorite thing on Thanksgiving. And I like to make it. It's not that it's hard, but like people have different ways of doing things. So I'm contributing.
No, I think getting the soft to crunchy ratio just right. It's actually kind of a hard thing to do.
It is. I agree. Yeah, because also if you follow the recipe that's on, I think it's the crunchy onions that have the recipe, it's too much liquid. Like what they say for milk is not correct because it becomes soupy. It's soupy. So it says to use, I want to say like 3/4 of a cup. And I only use like a quarter tops, like way, way less milk because you can't get it to be like thick if you use that much milk.
Well, my thing is stuffing. I love the sourdough stuffing. I think we're going to do some cornbread stuffing this year.
Yeah.
So that's new. But I love stuffing. I love the mashed potatoes. I love the cranberry sauce with real wine. Letting it, you got to cook it in the wine. I love homemade pecan pie and apple pie. I mean, I love the holidays, Angela. I didn't used to when I was younger. I think because I'm older now, I'm a happier person since I left the Democratic Party. Just like they say that you like the holidays when you're happy. And I'm happy. So I like the holidays. I love it.
Well, that warms my heart. Like, I'm happy you're happy. I'm happy anytime people are happy because, life is lot, and people, sometimes it's hard to find, people who are happy, like, and there's a lot of just mental health, stuff going on with the state of everything. And so, yeah, it always makes me happy to know that other people are happy. So I love that for you. Speaking of, last time I talked to you a couple weeks ago, you had a major announcement, but you weren't able to kind of say it yet. You have since announced it. For people who don't know, you have a book coming out.
I have a book coming out. I'm so excited. This has been in the works for a while. It's with Simon and Schuster,
which they're pretty huge, right?
They're a big deal. Yeah. So they're big five. I never in a million years thought that a year and a half ago, I guess it was a little over a year ago now, when I posted a TikTok video to 60 people, that it would end up turning into this. But here we go. So yeah, I have a book coming out, and it's available for pre-order. It's called Nothing Left: Confessions of a Democratic Operative.
And I love the title, Nothing Left.
Good title, right?
Yeah. Was that like did that come out later? Did you have it pretty early on? Talk to me about the title.
Well, I thought the Confessions of a Democratic Operative thing, I thought of that pretty early on. But I knew that I needed a shorter title to pair with it, just because I could have done that, I guess. But the Confessions of thing, a lot of people have done that already. So I wanted it to be a little unique. I didn't want to just copy other people, But Nothing Left really came later. And at first I thought of like Left Behind. And then I was like, wait, no, that's a Christian book series from the mid-aughts. That would be sort of a weird thing for me to know. Although I do think that a lot of people felt like the Democratic Party had gotten to sort of apocalyptic levels in 2024, and it's been sort of an apocalyptic feeling ever since for them. But Nothing Left, it works in so many different ways. There's nothing left to the party. There's nothing left for me to give. There's nothing left for me there. I felt like I had nothing left to lose when I left the party. So it works in a lot of different ways. And it just, as soon as we thought of it, I was like, yes, like this is it. Like it was just, when you finally land on a title, it's really hard naming anything, as you probably know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it just sort of clicked. I was like, yes, that's it.
I love it. When I saw it, I was like, ooh, clever. And I can totally see how it's multi-layered. Like there's different layers and different uses of it. And I really do love that. I think it's really clever, really catchy, and like totally captures. I mean, I always haven't read it yet, but knowing a little bit about your story captures a lot. It's great. I'm so excited for you. I'm so happy for you. I know you can't talk too much about certain things, and I know you can't release certain things, and
I it's got eyeballs on me right now, Angela. People that are watching right now.
I'm doing this for a holiday week, so hopefully people are on. No, just kidding. But
no, I can't get too much into specifics yet, except to say that it is, and that's because things got to get through legal review and everything. We want to make sure that we're on the up and up with everything, right? But just to say that it's kind of it's part memoir, so it's also part analysis, part expose is probably the best way that I would describe it. And it's a combination of my story, so my personal story of growing up in a union family. Every man on my mom's side of the family was in a union, from my great grandpa back in the 1950s to all my uncles were in construction worker unions. They were construction workers, and all my grandpas, and And so I grew up in this very like true blue Democrat Midwestern family. And I also was born with a health condition, as you and I have talked about in the past. And so I'm sort of, my family is very representative of the Democratic Party as it was 30, 40 years ago. And over time, a lot of the people in my family have, most of them, 99% of them, have left the Democratic Party and have voted for Donald Trump. And we've really seen that. It started happening in the early 2000s as a reaction to NAFTA and Bill Clinton, but then really accelerated under Donald Trump. And so I think that in a lot of ways, my family is very symbolic of and representative of the quintessential Midwestern voter that no longer votes with the Democratic Party and now supports MAGA. And on top of that, I was an insider in the Democratic Party for many, many, many years. I started on campaigns when I was still in high school, when I was 17. And worked my way up and became a fundraising consultant for national U.S. Senate races, House campaigns, and Soros-backed DA races as well. So it's a memoir, but then it's also, there's going to be some revelations in there, maybe for people like you who have felt sort of disconnected and disappointed, just kind of like going deeper than what we've seen with people in the news and the way that they've analyzed the party. I'm going to be able to give you a lot of stories and explanations for what happened that I think a lot of people just aren't privy to, that weren't immersed in what was happening, right? So I hope to fill in a lot of the blanks for people.
Well, I think there's a lot of us who are really looking forward to it. From the conversations I've been, there's a lot of overlap in how people are feeling and leaving the Democratic Party, like a lot. So yeah, I'm really excited to read it. I'm really excited for you. Was this something that you... Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Thank you. Is this your first book or have you written other books?
I've never written a book. I was a writing major in college, actually. First generation college grad. Neither of my parents when I went. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's hard. It was really hard. I had to do Pell Grants and loans, and I still have $30,000 worth of outstanding student debt.
I love that. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to just ignore that whole thing.
No, it's okay. And even when I had all those loans, I never wanted Joe Biden to pay off my debts for me, believe it or not, because
it's very bold of you.
Very bold, but also I knew from talking to family members that didn't go to college, that went into unions or just went straight to work, that wasn't really fair, and that long term it wouldn't really change how expensive college is. It'd probably just make it more expensive, actually. So it didn't really make sense to me. But yeah, sorry, I don't know. You asked me something.
Okay. I was saying it's your first book.
Oh yeah, very first book. Writing major. I've always liked writing. I've written a lot of like fiction stories, nothing that's been published, just for myself, just for fun. So I 100% wrote this book, no ghostwriters. That was very, very important to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody else could have really told the story the way that I could myself.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize how many books are not written by right? Like all these celebrities with books and like all these, I feel like it kind of dummies it down and makes it simplify like how difficult the process really is. That, everyone has a book. Anyone can write a book. It's like, it's not the same. Like all these things are not created equal.
That's what I'm telling people. I'm like, no, I wrote it. Like, hello. Like I wrote all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I really wrote it like I have not been able to do hardly anything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It completely dominated my life for the past 7 or 8 months. I've even like stopped working out and I need to get back into doing it. You know what I mean? Just like I
Yeah.
just feel like I can't do anything else until this, but it's been really cathartic just getting like putting a lot of what happened, not, you know, just to the, not just to me. I did have some really, you know, I don't want to say traumatizing because that feels like, I feel like that word's overused, but it was a little traumatizing,
Yeah.
you know, some traumatizing things that happened to me while I was working for them, especially over the last 4 years. It was like a different party, to be honest with you, between 2008 and 2020. They completely, just the culture inside of the party, everything. I mean, I'm sure you got that sense just from seeing it from the outside, right? But it really, really, really changed. And I feel like they're going to just try to forget about it. Like, I feel like they're going to just move forward, gaslight all of us about what happened, about wokeness, about all of that stuff, you know, the way that they completely went insane. And anybody that tries to bring it up is just going to be gaslit until they get into power again. And then it'll come back full force, even worse than before, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think, no, it's fine. I think, right, like you said, like a lot of us have picked up on, you know, changes in the party and things we're frustrated with. And like it's been part of the conversation, but I think it's going to be so eye-opening for people to, because you have such an inside experience, such a, you know, hands-on first look, like kind of boots on the ground, like all this information that people, I think it's going to be very eye-opening. So I'm so happy that you're doing it.
Thanks. Yeah. And I want to say, like, it's not just for people that are disaffected Democrat or, you know, Republicans. It's also for Democrats. Like, I want liberals to read it too. Like, my real hope is that, I don't know. At this point, I'm an independent. I voted for Donald Trump this past election. But I don't really have like a dog in the fight anymore. I really don't. Like, I I just want a party that whoever is in power to represent working class people and to be like a good party that really leads for regular Americans. And so I would like to really influence both parties to make that their key focus. And that's what I say, you know, it's not just going to be like a propaganda piece or something that's just bashing Democrats, you know, like I want to tell the truth about what happened. And, you know, if they become in power again, that's fine. I just want them to be better, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I hope that people will be open-minded on the left, Democrats. I hope that they will be open to reading it, because I just, you know, as we've discussed many times, it's just, I don't understand this whole, we can't question anything, or we can't, you know, like, why? What are you scared of, right? If your beliefs are your beliefs, like you could read the book and still feel the same way, that's fine. But why not open your eyes to at least reading or like considering another perspective, especially someone like you who's really, you know, been in it. So I do hope that Democrats and people on the left will read it and, you know, and consider the information and your experiences. I know you're no stranger to backlash, and are you expecting any of, I mean, you've already kind of been through it, you're resilient, but are you expecting any of that with this? Are you?
Oh yeah. I mean, don't you think?
Like, put it on my tab.
Yeah, no, there's already been some. I'm sure it'll get worse. the cool thing is that, I worked on campaigns for so many years, and I kind of assisted candidates through this process of being in the public eye and being under scrutiny. And so I know that things come and they go. And even if something feels like it's the biggest thing in the world at the time, give it 3 days, give it 4 days. Everyone's going to forget. And so that's the thing that I sort of keep in mind as I go through it. Not that it doesn't hurt, not that it's not hard on the soul and it's not stressful. But I just got to keep that in mind, is that everything passes. You can get through anything. The most important thing is to just tell the truth. And as long as you're standing up and you're being honest, it's like you don't really have any fear. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, I know, like, I can go to sleep at night knowing that I told the truth.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that anybody can really throw at me to stop me if I'm just being honest. And what happened was so wild and crazy that I don't really have to embellish anything. That it was actually, as you can probably imagine, without getting too specific, they sort of went off the deep end. And so, I'm sure there's going to be backlash. I'm sure I'm going to get, it's like I've already lost like 70% of the friends I used to have. Most people, 99% of people that I knew in Democratic politics don't speak to me anymore. And so, interestingly, though, I have had a couple of like people that have reached out. This is hilarious. You're not even going to believe this. that have reached out and have asked me to like come back and work.
Wow.
Yes, like a couple of old bosses. Yeah, I'm serious.
Like recently?
Yeah, one of them was before the book announcement, but yeah. And I like this person. This person, like, this wasn't a bad person at all. Like, this guy was like a guy, and and probably understands to some degree why I did what I did, for him to. But yeah, like, it's funny because like I was a good fundraiser, Angela.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, you've already lost, you know how it is. You lose friendships. We've already had to move because my son was stopped getting invited to birthday parties. And
I hate that. I hate that so much. It's nasty.
Has that happened to you? Just even like you haven't even left the left, but
right. Like I haven't, and I'm like, and I don't have a son, but I don't have a kid who could be, but that makes me sad, right? It's like for your kids to suffer too. I don't know. And they don't understand. I mean, they're young and it's so penalizing that. I don't know. It's also, it just seems so petty to me, all of that. But I've definitely gotten a lot more than ever now, just for and yeah, you're right. I haven't left the Democratic Party. I still, probably closer to you in terms of being an independent, maybe more like, left of center, like more moderate than maybe I used to be. But no, it's a lot of pushback, a lot of like heated conversations with close friends that I wasn't expecting for, to me, what sounds reasonable, like questions I'm asking, or even just the stuff that I'm doing content wise, they're like, I don't understand, just because I went from doing a certain type of like bold lib content to like having conversations. There's been a lot of questions that I've had to defend myself a lot for things that to me don't make sense.
It's exhausting. I just wrote an article for the Free Press about this, but basically the thing that I've noticed is ever since I publicly told people who I voted for, I don't regret the way I voted, but sometimes I'm like, do I regret telling people how I voted?
Right. Yeah. No, I feel that.
Yeah, but I there was a point in time where it's like, my God, the first 3 months he was in office, like of this term, I would get like a text message every other day, like from somebody personally blaming me for a policy that they didn't like.
Yeah, that doesn't, it's asinine when you put it that way, right? Like, but some people really don't grasp it. It sounds pretty insane. You know, this is your fault.
Yeah.
This is your fault. It's all your fault. Yeah.
It's also wild to see how many like people on the left still have this view of the Republican Party that I don't think really exists anymore. Like, for example, several of my friends were mad because they thought that I was voting against gay marriage. And I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't think Donald Trump has ever come out against gay marriage. And I don't think most Republicans these days even have a problem with it. I think that's a very antiquated version of the Republican Party, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of see that on both sides, though. It's just this is why I always say I'm unboxable, and I always promote the message of being unboxable, because people do have this I don't know, a tendency toward very black and white thinking, and like, it's like this or that, but there's like so much in between. And like, not all Republicans or not all Democrats are the same. Like, we have, you know, we can agree about things, like, so there's so much more in between there. But I do think people have this tendency to like lump into categories of, you all believe this and you all believe that. And it really isn't like that.
Unboxable is the name of your book.
Right? Yes. Yes, thank you. I do love that. It is something that I have said for a long time, and I love it. Like, even in studying mental health, and I don't know, the labeling and the generalizations and the boxes. And I always am like, think outside the box. And obviously diagnoses and can come in handy and things like that. But that you have to be careful about stuff like that. So, but going back to the book, right? Like, I know we've talked about this, but I also aspire to write a book, and I did start that process years ago. It is really tough. I was going to ask you, and you already kind of said it was a cathartic process for you. It was for me as well, but also very emotional. Was this something that you started on your own first, or were you approached to do this and tell your story, to write it?
I was approached, yes. Okay. I was approached by 3 or 4 different publishers.
Nice.
During the post-election and and then right after the video too. So yeah, it did. But I mean, it was something I wanted to do because I knew that, like, even if I hadn't been approached, I probably would have tried to do it, because it's just different. Like, making a video, talking about things is helpful, but writing things, like writing out your thoughts and your experiences, is a whole other way of processing it. And I knew that from that video, that first TikTok video I did, to when I decided to write an op-ed. I wrote a follow-up op-ed about it. And I was like, wow, like, I really feel like it crystallized how I felt in this op-ed. So I could only imagine that a book is going to be so much even bigger. And my best advice for it is to figure out the outline as much as you can in advance, especially if you're doing nonfiction. If you're doing fiction, it's a different thing. I've done both. But with nonfiction, memoir, lay it out as much as possible, which actually I would say figuring out the structure and the chapters was harder than even writing it in some ways.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's been mine is a memoir. Yeah. Based on, it's essentially about like toxic families, and using journal entries that I have from like when I was like actually like my life. But yeah, so it is really tricky for me. Like, the writing it is easy, and I have like journal stuff, but putting it in like trying to figure out, the structure of it, was kind of like, and I was like, I just got to write, like, I just got to sit down and at least like write. But yeah, so I feel you on that. It is that part, I think, also tripped me up more than the actual writing.
I know, it's wild.
And having never done it before, like if you've never written a book as well, you're kind of like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know what this is supposed to.
I had written short form, like short stories, stuff like that. I'd never written a book. Yeah. And then for me, it's like, I also want to get it out in a timely way because it's sort of kind of has a shelf life. I mean, like, you know, I don't think it's going to be as interesting to people if this book came out in like 2028. You know what I mean?
You're on a little bit of you're on a timeline for sure.
Yeah, on a timeline, right? And so I basically made a schedule for myself and I put it on my calendar and literally wrote when I was going to have each chapter written, and I did about a chapter a week. And then some chapters took 2 or 3 weeks, depending, you know, some just poured out. And then other chapters, like for me, the hardest, and if you're writing a book about toxic families, like the hardest part for me to write in the book was actually not the politics stuff. That was very like, that just sort of spilled out. It was the stuff, like the personal stuff about family. Yeah. That was like, and I would feel so exhausted afterwards. And my book doesn't even have that much of that in there. It's really only like 1 or 2 chapters of like family stuff. But that was just so hard. I mean, writing a whole family, you know, I don't know. Like,
well, you mentioned, because like, I mean, a lot of that is like, it's traumatizing, you know, not just with the family stuff, but like everything. So I totally get that. Like, it's an emotional process to like relive these traumatic events and, you know, moments in your life. And it's
my mom was married 6 times and my dad was married 5 times. That's pretty much all you need to know about how that might have affected.
Did you have any, I don't know, advice or tips or like process for when you were like getting through those challenging times or pushing through? Like, do you take a break? Is there something that, or like, was there any sort of writer's block or like moments that you were like, and how did you sort of deal with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I never let myself move on to the next chapter until I was done personally. Mm-hmm. Like, we're not skipping. We're going to just push through this, even if it's really uncomfortable, even if it's taking 3 weeks instead of 1 week. Because I couldn't do that. If I did that, then there's this fear that I wouldn't finish it. So for me, like, I forced myself to just drudge through it. The other thing is like letting yourself kind of like vomit. So, right. Like, do you know what I mean? Just let it out, even if it's imperfect, it's messy, it's bad writing, like whatever, just get it out. Yeah. Let it like vomit the draft and then sleep on it. Yeah. And go back and do the editing and the structure and all of that later, but just get something out like
that. Yeah. I can relate to that. It is because you can, especially I feel like as a writer or, you know, not even just, but like we can be perfectionistic. And so as you're writing, you don't want to be like judging it. You do, like you said, you just kind of want to free flow and like get it out, and you can like edit it later, but you don't want to like judge yourself or censor yourself as you're just trying to get it out.
Yeah. Just pretend like it's your diary and no one else is ever going to read it. That's like, just get it out. I actually had some diaries too from when I was working on campaigns.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Like I took like the day I went to the second time I met AOC, I wrote, like, I had a diary, like a personal diary that I went home that night and like wrote about her. And it was like before she even was famous, like it was before she even won and stuff. That's not private that I met her because there's photos of me out there with her. But yeah, just like going back, looking at diaries, text messages, like all of that stuff, you know, as many like primary source things as you have to get you back in the headspace of where you were.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When I met her, I actually wrote that I thought she could be president. And this is before she even officially beat Joe Crowley and isn't that wild? Like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like when I saw that, I was like, whoa. Like, and now people are actually talking about it.
Yeah. What do you think it was about her, like at the time, that made you feel that way?
Yeah, something. Like nobody should underestimate her.
Yep.
I wouldn't vote for her to be president, but she just has like the X factor. Like you just see it sometimes with candidates.
I agree.
It's like a force of personality, a force of attractiveness is a part of it. But yeah, just this X factor of being able to simultaneously be charismatic and somebody that's like a lightning rod to the press and to people, somebody that is magnetic, right? That can draw people in. Trump obviously has that. And it's just this like almost intangible thing that you just sort of like know it when you see it, and very few people really have it. And I think it's authenticity too. So
that's very honest though, because I think people can be quick because they don't like somebody or they don't want them to succeed, to like kind of downplay or be like, oh, she's an idiot, or but like it's very honest for you to be like, no, she does have something. And I
no, she's not stupid. I don't agree with like a lot of her policies, obviously. I think it would be really hard for her to win in a place like Ohio or Pennsylvania, but I would never write her off. I would never be like, oh, she's dumb, like she's an airhead or something. Like people talk about her. That's just not accurate. And sometimes when you underestimate people, that's when it can really come back to bite you. I think like the Democrats experienced that twice now with Donald Trump, right? First time, especially in 2016. But then again in 2024, I think a lot of them really thought they had it in the bag. And no, when it really wouldn't completely blow me away at all if AOC were the nominee in 2028. As crazy as that might sound to some people, just don't, like, Republicans watching, don't get too ahead of yourselves. Like, oh yeah, bring it on. She's not Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, I would say, if she were the nominee, like JD Vance would be very happy about that. but yeah, AOC's different. She's a force.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Quiet Pod. Thank you for being here again. Was there anything that I don't know if you can speak to this or not, but that you weren't necessarily expecting to include in the book that kind of surprised you, that you were like I have to, or, that kind of came out through the process that it was like you weren't necessarily expecting, was kind of like a surprise for it to be a part of it? That might not apply to your story and your journey, but
it's hard to really answer that question.
Yeah. I also knew that might be the case. No, that's totally fine. I know you're limited in what you can share at this point. So, what about advice that you might give to young operatives entering politics today to avoid pitfalls that you encountered? Also, I don't know if you can speak to that, but a nugget of
I can't. I mean, it's hard because I'm no longer in the party, and I can't speak to it on the Republican side because that's a totally different thing. I can't speak like just in terms of human nature, and I guess I can say this: like candidates can be really difficult to work for, and I think politicians in general. and this is probably true on both sides of the aisle because human nature is human nature. But I would just say, like, try not to take things personally, especially when you're younger, and know that, like, no matter what, you're signing yourself up for some level of abuse. So, like, that's kind of like that's just part of it. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be. But it is a part of it. And to, like, know how to stand up for yourself. Like, just because it is hard, like, don't let people treat you poorly. And in some ways, I wish I had spoken out um, earlier. I think, it's good that I like, and as far as speaking out, I mean, like, I wish I had stood up for myself a little bit more in those early years of experiencing the change in the party instead of going along with it. And I feel like, especially for women, there's like this tendency when you're around other women. I'm probably sure you've heard this, like with your like female friends or whatever, to just start bashing men.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about? Or start blaming them for everything. I
Yeah.
think that was like something that I did in the party, and I wish that I hadn't. I wish I would have called it out more.
Mm.
Um, and now, whenever I find myself around other women that are starting to do that, I do call it out because I think that it's part of the reason that men and women are so polarized right now. It's like women don't take any responsibility for their part in that. And we need to start doing that because we're not oppressed anymore. Like, like in a lot of ways, we have more like cultural power than men do nowadays.
Mhm.
And it's got to change. It's got to change. So
Yeah, no, those are great points. I think again, it's like the problem with like generalizing again, right? Like I think
mhm.
so many things are situational or case by case basis. It's not like this doesn't apply to all women or this doesn't apply to yeah, I don't think it's helpful to do that. Again, of lumping things into it's like look at each situation differently of what's really going on there instead of treating it all the same and like all men are the same or all women are the same or they're all in the same situation. It's, you have to really look at a case by case, I think, example.
Yeah, so I try to catch myself now when I'm
Yeah.
like other it happens like especially around other when like men aren't around, I feel like. Having
Fair.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I think men can do the same thing, right? It's like I don't know, like
I
bashful
gotta
of
feel
person.
that.
It's like the venting about, whatever they're frustrated or upset about. And like, I don't, but yeah, it's not always helpful or even correct. And this is a big counseling thing that I like to do is challenge people. I think it's in general a really healthy skill instead of enabling people. So I think it's, so with your friends also, I don't think it's good. I think women do kind of have a tendency as friends to not want to like hurt feelings. And so you just like, oh yeah. And like but like it can be a bunch of BS. You could see the partner side of it and be like, well, so I think not enabling them to believe things that aren't necessarily serving them well, is important.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, not being so afraid to just push back. And that goes back to the other thing I was saying about working with in politics is like being able to stand up for yourself a little bit,
Hmm.
not just being so people pleasing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that the keeping it real, the honesty, the truth telling, and I just want to say that reminded me of something that you had said earlier, about the backlash and all of that and the things that you've faced. Um, it's such a good message to spread and to be true to yourself and do you and what's important to you. Because in terms of writing this book, for example, and telling your story, you know, because like it's another of like you don't want to live with regrets of being like, I wish I had done this. And it's important to you. And so, yeah, you're going to face whatever, but it's more important to you to get it out there than to hold back because you're worried about what other people might say. And I think, yeah, but that's difficult. It takes a lot of strength to do that. So
yeah, well,
I admire it.
Gotta just live life, man. I mean, I don't know. I really think there's something to it. Just I don't want to leave this earth like feeling like I didn't live authentically or that I didn't tell the truth. So that's what this whole process has been about over the last year. And I got to tell you, Angela, the second after I posted that video, even with the waves and like it is so much better to live life being able to just say what you really think and getting criticized for it than to never say what you really think and to just live in fear all the time. I feel more alive now, way more alive than I ever did before when I was just constantly self-censoring and pretending, because that's how it felt in my final years in politics. It felt like I was just pretending, felt like I was just saying what other people wanted me to say to get through the day. And when you start to do that, you become very, very unhappy. Better to deal with criticism.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes sense. Unhappiness, I feel like there's anger there, resentment that builds. You're not being true to yourself. And then you're mad at yourself. You're mad at other people. It's like, so I can see how that's would be like feeling free to be able to just, take, that. But no easy thing. So your story is very inspiring and I'm so happy that you're doing this. Is there anything else that you want anyone to know about the book or what you hope?
Oh yeah. Pre-order it. Pre-order it.
Yes.
Pre-orders really, really help. Big time. So they really do. They show that there's excitement, interest. It's a big deal to get pre-order. So it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's at Simon & Schuster's website. Just Nothing Left, Confessions of a Democratic Operative. Order it, pre-order on Amazon. That's what I would ask if anybody's interested in the book, to pre-order it now. I'm going to be really annoyed with that.
Pre-order it. Let's do it. I want to support you and hope everyone else does in any way possible. I think you're just awesome. I'm so happy that social media brought us together.
Yeah, I wish I could meet you sometime at like a hall. Well, I wish we lived closer. That would be fun to meet.
I know. I will manifest that too. I really hope. Yeah, at some point we will definitely cross paths. It will happen. I'm looking at trying to get to the West Coast sometime in the new year. Yeah. We were talking about the Vegas meetup. I'm hoping in the new year. There's a couple podcasts that have asked me to come on over there also in like Vegas and California. So, I mean, I'm going to hit you up for sure. Hopefully we can make that happen in the new year. Obviously, if you're ever in Florida or Georgia or anywhere close, let me know. Maybe you'll be on a book tour. I mean, that's maybe a little ways out, but
that's a little ways out. But that would be cool. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
That would be amazing.
I'll be on the East Coast promoting it, doing press and stuff too.
Yes. So, let me know if I can make any of that happen to meet up. I totally will. Would love to support you and meet. So, well, thank you so much for giving, some of your day today before the holiday. It was so fun talking about the whole process of writing, and I'm so excited for you and proud of you. Can't say enough good things. So everybody, please support, pre-order. Evan, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
You too. Enjoy your green bean casserole.
And you too. It sounds like we're sides girlies.
Yeah.
All about the sides.
So, all right. Bye,
I
Angela.
hope you feel better too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so
Talk
much.
soon. Bye. Well, thanks so much, guys. So Evan's awesome, as you can tell. If you didn't already know, now you know. I'm so excited about her book. Please do pre-order, show her all the love. And thank you guys so much for being here. Happy Thanksgiving again. I hope everyone's having a beautiful week and hopefully not too much travel, or at least it's stress-free. I don't know. But what we're going to do now is I thought it would be fun to show you some clips from Bold Talk episodes. So if you haven't already, please check out the link in my bio and follow me over on Rumble. That is where all of the live streams and podcast episodes are released. That way you don't miss anything. You can go back, watch former streams, former episodes. So check out the link in my bio. And I was like, what day is it? There will be a new episode coming out. Bold Talk is every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, exclusively on Rumble. So yeah, you don't want to miss that. We have a new episode releasing this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with Lily Gaddis is my guest this Friday. But I thought it would be fun to revisit, a couple clips from some past episodes. I'm like, I don't even know what order to go in here, but it's fun. We got some good clips for you here. So let's check it out. We'll see what pops up first. It's a little random. And feel free to, guys, any Q&A, feedback, questions, let's chat if you're here and you want a Q&A or want to say hi. I'll try to pull you up on screen. My good friend Alex Stein is up first. So here's a little clip from my Bold Talk interview with Alex Stein, the one and only.
Has that changed your approach at all?
Yes and no. Like, I still will go confront politicians. I need to actually do it more. But yes and no, because like I said, I still need to do it. I've kind of slowed down on it, and I'm not afraid to go call out a politician, but I just need to pick and choose my battles right. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't realize actually. I kind of started to go viral by getting in some local politicians and calling them out at meetings. And I need to do a little bit more of that, but it's just, I just got to pick my targets wisely.
Yeah. I mean, now that people are more familiar with you, are people on the lookout? Like, do you get stopped from going in?
Yeah, that makes it harder. They either kick me out earlier or, they know that something's up. So the surprise angle is just gone. And, which is fine. It's fine. I've actually had success. Like, I had this one at the Texas Senate hearing recently that really blew up, where I was talking about transgenders and how they should be in the military and how I like them in women's sports. You can gamble on it. And those are jokes I've been saying for a long time, but I said it in that setting, and those jokes, the thing blew up. Got millions of views, went really, really viral. So there's a way where now, even though I'm known, where I can sarcastically say some facts that aren't the facts that you would typically hear at a setting like that, and so that's why they can hit right. So there's still stuff I can do, but yeah, the level the surprise attack is now gone.
What do you think is the most standout moment where things went wrong, or like the biggest reaction to any of these events or meetings? Or
the worst thing was I got kicked out of the RNC for confronting Sank while he was live on Piers Morgan, and I didn't like that.
So I'm sure who knows Alex Stein? I'm sure you guys all know Alex Stein. Alex is a lot of fun. We first interacted. He asked me to be on his podcast. So I was on Primetime with Alex Stein. Gosh, that had to have been well over a year ago at this point. And, he's a lot of fun. I went on his podcast again, and we actually met in person recently, a little over a month ago. We both went to Moms for Liberty Summit here in Orlando together. We were on the same panel talking about social media and using humor in content. But Alex, yeah, I really enjoy him. I think he's so quick and witty and clever. And what was really cool about that interview, if you haven't seen the whole thing, is I feel like, which with these interviews in general, I enjoy so much, is just kind of stripping people down, like learning more about, like getting them to just kind of share more about like who they are, right? So I feel like with Alex, you see a lot of comedy and stunts and gimmicks and all these things, but it was cool to see him open up on a more personal level and see a different side of him that you don't always get from maybe his content. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. We also had while we were at Moms for Liberty, a cool opportunity to do an interview together for Real America's Voice with John Solomon. So if you haven't caught that, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, I like Alex a lot. We've hung out, we've met in person. So that's a cool one. We've crossed paths quite a few times. So Quietpod said Alex is a riot. He can be a bit much at times though. I could see that. I don't know exactly in what, capacity you mean that, but for sure, I hear you. But yeah, so that's a really fun one. So Alex Stein was a really fun interview that I highly encourage you to check out. We actually talk a bit about, we have like that's the funny thing too about these conversations. We find out a lot of similarities between us, things we have in common. So Alex and I both had a stint in like TV and film as like background extras. So we talk a little bit about that. So just some cool fun facts and things you'll find out a little bit about his musical taste. You never know what's kind of going to come out of his mouth. So you'll find out some fun new information about Alex Stein if you want to watch that episode. Let's see. Up next, let's watch Nick Sorter talk about one of his many adventures.
I tried to outrun it. I have a video of it. I've never posted it.
Oh my God.
Me trying to outrun it, where it like it threw me off the road. A power pole like fell right in front of me, so I had to dodge it. I'm doing like 80 miles an hour off road, and you can see me like jacking the wheel to the right, but it won't turn. The car won't turn because it's a Jeep. It was a Jeep Wrangler, a 4-door Jeep Wrangler, and all that wind is pushing up against the side of it. It's like a brick wall, right? I mean, it's not going to turn very well. And it ended up breaking out all the windows, and it sucked the roof off. And I ended up in a ditch. And I was like, I got under the dashboard, and I was like, well, I guess that's it. It didn't. I thought that was it. I was stuck. The windows were gone. The roof was just ripped off, and I can feel that the pressure of it trying to pull me out of the vehicle. And I got lucky that day, but that was quite a story. There's some photos on X from that.
I'm gonna have to look for that's terrifying. I'm so glad you're okay. That sounds terrifying, like straight out of a movie, like your own version of Twister, and like that's
That's a movie you don't want to be a part of.
No, like you want to watch it on a screen, you don't want to live it in real life. Oh my goodness.
So I stopped storm chasing for the most part, unless I'm with a professional.
Wow. So yeah, if you haven't watched the Nick Sorter interview, that one was really fun too. Nick Sorter is quite an adrenaline junkie. He's got so many wild stories. And then even in his downtime, which, we talked about how things are, journalism and being a reporter and all that is pretty much a 24/7 job. So that's something that people don't often understand, is it's like tough for him to ever take time off or even like go to dinner, or like sit at dinner, because things are always happening. Which brought up a fun chat about I'm like, you must not be a lot of fun on vacation, or like, do you even take vacations? He's like, I can't sit on a beach for like a few days. So anyways, yeah, even the things he does in his downtime are like adrenaline forward. So that was also really cool to kind of get to know more about him too. So if you have not checked that interview out, please do. Nick Sorter. You will also learn a lot of new things about him, and all of his adventures and quirks and all of the amazing things that he's done too, in terms of people that he's helped and, you know, in disaster relief and just in, you know, the spirit of trying to tell the truth and expose the truth and in ways to help others, you know, whatever that might look like. So chasing stories, yeah, his passion is very, very apparent. So yeah, that is the Nick Sorter interview. So all of these are available on Rumble currently. So you should just, you know, we've got a whole holiday weekend coming up. You guys should just, if you haven't seen the episodes, do a deep dive, watch them all, binge them, right? We love to binge. So just if you want to be whatever, lazy and snack on leftovers, just binge on all the Bold Talk episodes. They're all available via the link in my bio over on Rumble. So, okay. Then we have somebody else. I have not met Nick Sorter in person, but hopefully at some point that will be a possibility. Another person I have met in person is the lovely Chrissy Mayer. Chrissy's another one who, you know, I initially interacted with by her asking me on her podcast. I've done several podcast appearances with her in a variety of capacities, and she's a lot of fun. I did an in-person with her. We always have fun together. Yeah, a lot of laughs. Again, another just like quick, you know, super funny person. But you also really see her passion for motherhood. And yeah, so I really enjoy Chrissy also. We always have a lot of fun together.
Best job ever was when I was a lifeguard and I was also a diving coach. That was like the most fulfilling, best job I've ever had, because you're actually like
you were a diver, right?
Yeah. You're like teaching people how to do stuff, and you're teaching these kids. The kids you end up getting on the team are like not particularly athletic. They're just the kids who like aren't good at other sports, and like their parents don't know what to do with them all summer. So you get these very uncoordinated, but then you get some that are just like daredevils that'll just throw flips. They'll do whatever you say, that, and they're like physically adept. They're like, they have good skill. And then some which are like gymnasts, and then you have to teach them like, okay, it's not a balance beam. You gotta like take your approach. You gotta bounce on this thing. You gotta like coach that out of them a little bit. But it's fun. You're like holding kids upside down by their ankles. Like, this is what it feels like to go backwards. Get used to it. It's the best.
Again, Chrissy's a riot. She's another one you don't ever know what's going to kind of come out of her mouth, but she has so many fun stories. You know, also just about like trying to pursue comedy while holding down all of these random jobs, the joys and struggles of, you know, motherhood. And now she's kind of getting back into stand-up comedy. We talked a lot about that process, and yeah, just, you know, kind of how, like, I'm like, are you ever nervous? You know, you'll hear her honest kind of answers about that. And yeah, just a lot about like the different jobs that she's had. And, you know, we always talk a little bit about like New York and things going on there. So she is a riot, and I appreciate her. And she's always been so lovely to me. So yeah, she's a lot of fun. And that was a really, really fun interview. It's crazy that she was like a diver and all this stuff. So again, fun facts that you don't know about people. So yeah, so you should definitely check that one out. Next up, let's do good old Konstantin Maroulis, guys. The American Idol finalist, Tony nominated Broadway star from Rock of Ages. I was like, what? Konstantin and I have not met in person, although I did see him perform when I first moved to New York, but I didn't officially meet him at that performance. But then we crossed paths via X, which is, you know, I am really thankful for X and other social media platforms in the sense that like I've gotten to connect with and meet so many cool people. And he's one of them. So we interacted, you know, via X and have like been in touch for years and kind of, both lived in the New York area. So I have not gotten to meet Konstantin yet in person, but it feels like I had to really think about it. It feels like we have, because we've interacted a lot over the years, but he was so fun to talk to. He has such a great energy, so talented. He will like break into song during the interview. He's also a really proud dad of a teenage girl. And it's very evident that he cares so much about being a good dad to her. So that always comes into the conversation, as well as just all of his shenanigans. And we definitely do some behind the scenes talk on American Idol. So you'll hear things about American Idol back in season 4. And he's done a lot of mentoring too since then with American Idol. So it was really fun to hear more about what he had to say.
Job. I needed a gig. I needed a job. I was out on tour with Rent, which was like a huge Broadway show, of course.
It's my favorite
International.
musical.
It's like the best. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
I love
playing
it.
Roger. I mean, I was living the life on tour. Hot girls, amazing show. We went to Japan. We went all through Canada. We went everywhere. And then it was like, so we're not renewing your contract, and we're bringing in a younger, cheaper version of you. And thanks for your service in your 2 years. I had my band on the road, like playing shows with me. I was like really doing like the hustle. I was like Roger and Rent. My band would come out. We were sitting down in Cincinnati for a week. The band would come out. I would promote the show all week because the Rent heads would come every night.
Rent heads. I love that. I've never heard that before.
Rent heads, yeah. I get, yeah. And they had oh my God, they had like the first chat board that I ever remember, which was called compulsive bowlers or something like that, which is a reference in the play, who are compulsive bowlers. Like, he does his like talk up on the phone for like, hey, this is Mark for the TMZ version of whatever he was going for. Anyway, yeah, compulsive bowlers. I'd go on there and like see like anonymously and like see what they were saying about me. But also like I'd promote my shows, and that's what was always in me, that like hustle. I put myself through Boston Conservatory, Berklee College of Music. I did it in 3 years. I was at Williamstown. I did professional shows like always. And the Rent thing like took off. I went on that journey. So I came home and I needed a gig, and this girl was like, let's go audition for this TV show. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah, so Konstantin has quite a resume. It's really impressive, and he just has done so many things. He's now been sort of touring and doing shows with Foreigner. So he talks about that. It's like he's done so many cool things. And yeah, he's got a resume. He's so talented, and we talk a lot about too, kind of getting typecast and the struggles of, wanting to get acting parts, because he's auditioned for quite a few things and kind of wants to be, like get like a character-y kind of role in something, maybe like a dramatic show. And it can be hard to break out of that American Idol bubble or like vision that, casting directors or people see you as. So we talk a lot about that too, of, the kind of that struggle. Obviously a hustler. It's very inspirational. So if you need some motivation, it's a really good interview to hear about his whole journey and path to success and all of the ways that he's been successful. It's really wild. And like I said, some behind the scenes American Idol stories, which is fun. Broadway, like what his process is, for being on the road and getting ready for shows and things like that. Doing Rent to pay the rent. That's quite yeah. I don't know I wonder if he's ever said that or thought that, but I guess I'm sure that he has, right? Yeah, Rent is my favorite musical, though. I would love to have seen him in Rent. Maybe there's still a possibility of that, but Rent is my favorite musical. And one time I saw him post a video of singing a song from Rent, which is like my favorite song from the soundtrack, and it was incredible. So he was great. If you have not seen that interview, you will just smile and laugh and be motivated, and it's a lot of fun. He's a very charming, endearing guy. So just a very good vibe, very good energy. So that there's some feel good content for you right there. Check out Constantine. And finally, I'm going to show you a little clip from Owen Schroyer, which is the episode that just released. And yeah, let's check it out.
So I'm really looking forward to doing this for the next 50 years of my life.
Well, I feel like, some things have been shifting and changing for you as well. And as I mentioned, in the spirit of journeys, professional journeys, personal journeys, growing, evolving, you recently left InfoWars after like 10 years, right? And now you're doing your own thing, which this is all very recent, isn't it? Just like September, October?
Yeah, September is when I took off. And then I took about 3 weeks off from being on air, which I think was the first time I took time like that off air since 2017. So it'd been a while. And yeah, launched the Owen Report first week of October. We're now a month and a half in. It's been a smashing success. And we're getting new listeners every day. And so I'm really looking forward to doing this for the next 50 years of my life. They're going to be shoveling dirt over my head when I die in the studio. And I'm just going to have them bury me right on the spot. I'm going to have a priest ready and everything. So, it'll be obvious, you'll see me wavering and I'll just croak. I'll just croak right there on air and we'll have everything ready to go. We're going to bury me right there in the studio. So I'm thinking probably like 50 years, maybe 60, we could pull it off.
So you can see how passionate and dedicated Owen is. So he was with InfoWars for like 10 years and is recently, doing his own thing. So again, it's really cool to see a more kind of personal, stripped down side of Owen, just kind of, talking about his background and kind of how he found his voice and how he knew and, kind of all those experiences earlier on in his life that shaped who he has become and the talk show host and everything that he has evolved into. So that's really cool. He has like a sports background, things like that. And we also connected over, we both have been swatted in the past. So you'll hear us talk about our personal experiences with that as well. If you don't know what swatting is, you should definitely check out the interview. We really like to raise awareness about that because it's a very traumatic thing that happens and people are not necessarily familiar with. So it was, I don't know, cool to talk with Owen about his experience, although it's very scary. And I'm really glad that he's okay because I've been through it and people have died in that process. So very glad that he's okay. And another, really amazing interview that I enjoyed very much. Again, just kind of getting to know more about the person, the human being behind the content, behind social media, what you think or what you do know about them. I like to try to do my best to bring you kind of another side. So that is some clips for you in case you've been missing the podcast episodes. Bold Talk releases every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Again, the link's in my bio. Head over on Rumble, follow me so you don't miss any episodes or live streams. When swatted, just remember, hands up, don't shoot, and you'll do well. I guess, but you know, people aren't expecting it when it happens. And so sometimes people have like gaming consoles or remote controls in their hand, and they can be mistaken as weapons. So that is unfortunately how some people have died. Hi, Joey. I've been seated too. You've been seated or swatted? I don't think you've been swatted. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you tuning in. I know it's Thanksgiving week. The holidays are coming up. I know a lot of people have plans, so I do really appreciate you tuning in and spending some time with us today. I hope you enjoyed getting to know more about Evan Barker, hearing about her upcoming book. Please do pre-order. I'm super thankful that Evan was able to be here today too. Yeah, again, I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a beautiful Thanksgiving. Be safe, safe travels. I hope it's some good, you know, relaxing, self-care, positive time for you and your families and friends, and that you enjoy some good food and company and beautiful moments and memories. I will be back next there will be no Bold Chat live stream tomorrow, which we normally do stream on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I will not be doing that due to Thanksgiving. That's why I did a little impromptu one today instead. But typically we do Bold Chat live streams on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Bold Talk podcast episodes release on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. One last time to say, check the link in my bio and follow me over on Rumble so that you don't miss any episodes or streams. You guys rock. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Quiet Pod. Enjoy some turkey and family. I shall. I hope you do as well. I appreciate it very much. And yes, as you can see via me, the other interviews that are available are Sarah Fields, Ada Yuk, Tiffany Gomez, the Redheaded Libertarian, and Brian Krasenstein. You can watch them all on Rumble right now. So get to binging, but enjoy your time. Enjoy your holiday. Thank you so much, Network Access Group. Appreciate it. I think that's it for today, guys. Thanks again so much to Evan for being here as my guest. Thank you all so much for being here, for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I see you. I'm thankful for you. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Have a great rest of your week.